Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the session on NCERTs where we'll be focusing on 7th standard NCERT book. In the 6th standard we have already seen some basic concepts which were important from exam, especially from UPSC exam point of view. And in the basic concepts chapter we have seen all those concepts which may be important for us to understand the NCERT books. Now in this book, our environment, which is a textbook for 7th standard, we have to focus from environment and ecology point of view as well. Here, we will be seeing some basics of climatology and other factors which are very, very important in our environment. And again, this may be important from your environment and ecology point of view as well. So let us quickly see what are these factual information that is required for the exam, and at the same time what are the conceptual things which may help us understand this book and also the upcoming subjects or upcoming NCERT books as well. So let's quickly begin with 7th standard NCERT book. As I have already told you, please ensure that you have hard copy of this. If possible, try to have the white sheets or sticky notes where you can add some additional informations, right? So let's quickly begin with the NCERT book. In this, the first chapter is actually with respect to environment, where they give you some basic definitions. UPSC sometimes in your prelims exam also focuses on these definitions. So let us see what are these definitions in this chapter. So if we actually see, the first concept itself is with respect to environment. What exactly it is? People, place, things and nature that surround any living organism is called as environment. And here you have the world of living organisms, which is biotic, and the world of non-living organisms, which is we call it as abiotic. So you should be knowing biotic and abiotic. As I have already told you, I will not assume that you people know all these basic stuffs, because there are many basics which you people might be knowing, but you don't know the actual definition of those. So it's important for you to look at some of the basic facts which are present in your NCERT books. Next important thing is the definition on lithosphere. Can you see this? Here they just try to tell you that it is a solid crust or the hard top layer of the earth, and it is made up of rocks and minerals, and it is covered by a thin layer of soil. Now, when we actually take earth surface, and lithosphere is the one which is actually the topmost layer present. In this lithosphere, we actually find minerals, and we also find soil, which is very, very essential. Here, you need to understand that minerals play a very important role in formation of soil. For example, if you have iron ore containing rocks, then you usually get red soil. And if you actually take rocks formed because of volcanic eruptions, right? Take for example, there are different types which we will be seeing. One example is basalt, which is commonly present in our Maharashtra, Gujarat region as well. And if we see this, you usually get black soil, right? So based on the minerals and the rocks which are actually present on the lithosphere, the soil varieties are also defined. So it's very important for us to know the definition of lithosphere, because we know hydrosphere where water will be there, biosphere where life will be there. Lithosphere is very, very important component, mainly because it helps in the formation of soils. Now, it is an irregular surface with various landforms such as mountains, plateaus, plains. All these things are present on the lithosphere itself. Landforms are found either on the continents or on the oceans. So you have different structures present in both oceans and also continents. Lithosphere is the domain that provides us forests, grasslands for grazing, land for agriculture, everything. And it is also a source of mineral wealth. Which of the following is source of mineral wealth? Simple questions were asked in UPSC. Even in 2017, if you actually look, most of the basic questions which came in exam were actually with respect to the NCERT examples itself. So please be careful, because there are students who feel that they don't know these concepts also, or in the examination hall they may get confused. What am I talking about? Am I talking about earth? Am I talking about crust? Is it lithosphere? All these basic doubts usually come, so please be careful. Then you have the domain of water is referred to as hydrosphere. Here you may have fresh water or salt water. On the basis of this, rivers, lakes and all, environment and ecology. Now, the atmosphere is a thin layer of air that surrounds the earth. The gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere around us. And let me see, before explaining you some concepts, it helps us from the harmful rays and scorching heat of the sun. It consists of gas, dust and water vapor, and these are responsible for weather and climate. Right? So let me just explain you what exactly it is talking about. If at all I am considering the earth's surface, right, and the air above it is actually called as atmosphere, correct? Later we'll be seeing some more structures or phases whichever are present within the atmosphere. If I first take the lowermost part, which we usually called as troposphere, here you have to understand that with increasing height, temperature decreases. That is, it will be negative, or I'll write it, decreases. What is the reason for this? We usually observe that there is more air particles present closer to the earth. If I take a vertical column and if I go next, it will be less. If I go, it will be further less. Here and there you see one or two. Can I say density is more, and here density is less, correct? Now, let me just explain you a bit more. Why more gas particles or air particles are present closer to the earth? Because of the gravitational force is one factor. Gravitational force makes most of the particles to settle down, and as you move above, there are particles which are thinner and which have the escaping velocity, and they will be present above, right? Now, let me just give you a small example. Forget about heating, cooling and all. Now, when you have a tire, okay, where you pump air into it. When you pump air into tire, you usually see that it gets inflated, correct? Now my point to you, if you pump more air into the tire, will the air be hot or will it be cool, is my question. So what exactly is the answer? We usually see, if we pump in more air into the tube, usually its temperature increases, correct? Because more particles are present in less space. You can also take the example, if you are in a room, if there are 300 people in a small room, it will be warm. No one is adding heat to it, but it is warm. But if in that room, big space, there are only 10 people, it will be a bit cool. What is the reason for this? So when you have more particles together, the temperature will be more. If the particles move out, the temperature reduces. This is the concept of AC, converter, all this. But let us not go in detail about it. But I'm just trying to tell you that because of Earth's gravity, lot of air particles are present closer to the Earth's surface. As more particles are present in less space, they are naturally hotter when compared to the upper layers, which has same space but less number of particles. This is what we say, with increasing height, particles decreases, at the same time temperature also decreases. This is one reason. Second important reason is, usually for Earth, the major source of energy is sun. So whenever sun's rays fall on the Earth gets heated up. And whichever hot particle is there, you burn iron or anything. When you heat it, you might have observed that from a particular distance, let me take this as a hot particle, and if I'm closer to this, I can feel the heat. But as I move away, I don't feel so much heat, and as I move far away, I don't feel the heat at all. Earth gets heated because of the sun's rays. And whichever particles are closer to Earth will be heated more. And the particles farther away will be heated less. This is what we call as Earth's radiation also affects the temperature of the particles which are present in the atmosphere. So can you understand this? That is, in the troposphere, if I am looking at, with increasing high temperature, decreases. The reason for this is these concepts. With this, I just want to tell you one more fact. That is, see guys, just take two buckets. In one bucket, you have cold water above and you have hot water below. You take another one, you have cold water below and you have hot water above. Okay? Now you tell me, cold water is usually heavy, correct? So what will happen? Cold water will sink down, hot water will rise. You would have read in your school, it is convection, correct? But when I take cold water which is heavy and hot water which is light, now when cold water is below and hot water is above, only the portions which are closer to each other, there will be some exchange. And over a period of time, right, the entire water will get cooled, or the temperature normalizes over a period of time, or the hot water has to irradiate, or the cold water, when it comes in contact with hot water, slowly the temperature normalizes. That is, first this portion will be normalized, then this portion will be normalized. So like this it spreads. But here it is convection. Throughout the bucket there will be movement of the hot and cold water. Why I gave you this example was, now when we take atmosphere, you have hot air below and you have cold air above, correct? Now what will happen? Hot air will move up and cold air will come down. This is what we see in the troposphere. That is, convection current is active in the troposphere. But as we go to stratosphere, this particular region, here with increasing height, temperature increases, positive. That is, cold air will be below and hot air will be above. Because of this, we do not see much exchange of air. This is called as stable air. Whenever cold air is below and hot air is above, we call stable air. But here what is happening? The air is unstable. This is leading to lot of mixing or movement of air in the troposphere. Whereas this is not leading to anything much in the stratosphere. These concepts are very, very important for us to understand lot of climatic phenomena. Over a period of time, we will be applying these concepts. But as of now, I hope it is clear that Earth has held the air particles closer to the Earth because of its gravitational force. And as Earth has held these air particles closer, more particles are present closer to the Earth. Due to this, it is hot. As you move above, the number of particles which are actually present reduces, and in same space, less number of particles are present. When you have less number of particles in same space, what will happen? The temperature will be cooler. Second important factor, sun's rays, when it enters into the atmosphere and Earth, it heats the Earth, and Earth, when it gets heated, it radiates its energy or conducts its energy to the particles which comes closer to that. So the air particles which are closer to the Earth will be heated, while those which are far off will not be heated much. Due to this, you see hot air below and cold air above. As cold air is heavy and hot air is light, there will be convection current in the atmosphere, at least in the troposphere. Because of this, we see lot of climatic and weather phenomena in different parts of the Earth. I hope this is clear. We'll be explaining and we'll be implementing this in further areas as well. Then we have to see the definition here. Ecosystem. I have already told you in boxes, if anything comes, it's very, very important for you. It is a system formed by interaction of all living organisms with each other and with the physical and chemical factors of the environment in which they live. All linked by transfer of energy and material. Very, very important. Here you need to understand two basic factors. Ecosystem is talking about interaction among the living organisms and also with physical and chemical factors which are present in the environment. And at the same time, we also have to talk about transfer of energy and material in the ecosystem as well. So when you combine these two, then only you get ecosystem, right? So this concept is also important for us. Before we end this chapter, we just need to look at two important facts. One is on 5th June every year, the World Environment Day is actually celebrated. And we should also be knowing about barter system means it is a trade in which goods are exchanged without the use of money. In this book, they have just given you one simple definition, but over a period of time you will be seeing in India, even now there are barter system in certain areas, and we will be studying about those as well. Right guys? So I hope it is clear what are the important factors we saw in this chapter. Now let's move quickly to the second chapter.